scrapings off Jim's wall, Jim's wall. I got 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 scrapings off Jim's wall, Jim's wall.
They get the views from the UFO fairy tales and the UFO fairy tale huckstering.
Scrapings off Jim's wall.
They get the views from the UFO fairy tales and the UFO fairy tale huckstering.
Scrapings off Jim's wall.
This UFO circle jerk. 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 This UFO circle jerk.
I got scrapings off Jim's wall, Jim's wall. I got scrapings off Jim's wall, Jim's wall. I got scrapings off Jim's wall, Jim's wall, Jim's wall, Jim's wall, Jim's wall.
This UFO circle jerk. 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 They get the views from the UFO fairy tales and the UFO fairy tale huckstering.
Scrapings off Jim's wall.
They get the views from the UFO fairy tales and the UFO fairy tale huckstering.
Scrapings off Jim's wall, wall.
What if some of that shit is so big? What if some of that shit is so big it can't be moved? Big, big, it can't be moved. Big, big. What if some of that shit is so big? What if some of that shit is so big it can't be moved? Big, big, it can't be moved. Big, 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 big. In a country outside of the United States of America. Big. In a country outside of the United States of America. In a country outside of the United States of America. Big. In a country outside of the United States of America. Big. 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 They're too bloody 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 big. I know exactly where it is. I know exactly where it is. But it was bollocks big, 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 big. But it was bollocks big, 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 big.
Take a screwdriver off, scrape it good. I don't know why I've said it before now, since that's a good call. Might be alien technology, y'all. Ross takes a wheel with credulity steering. Area 51 is reverse engineering. Patch gate blew up and we all beat short, but now it's interdimensional beams from a portal in. Boots on the ground, chasing truth on the fly, fighting for disclosure. Yep, that's right. So big it can't be moved. We're all squeezing juice, so get with this groove. Get with the Rossco groove. Coulthart wins awards, investigating everywhere he looks. Sees something alien, truth seeker getting weaker. Life is pockets deeper, believing in every cosmic creeper. Lights in the sky, chasing truth on the fly. finish for those bleeding debunkers. Triple source made this ain't no clunker. Fooled by school kids, truth on the fly. Fighting for disclosure, yeah, that's why. Spaceship's so big it can't be moved. We're all squeezing juice, so get with this groove. Get with the Rossco groove. Lost put up his awards on the shelf. Now he's after aliens to please himself. Cause Charlie Watts is pathetic, he's sad, but he the one going mad, mad, mad. Boots on the ground, chasing truth on the fly. Fighting for disclosure, yeah, that's why. Spaceship's so big it can't be moved. We're all squeezing juice, so get with this groove. Get with the Rossco groove. Yeah, get with the Rossco groove. Company's big cover up. Don't let the signal drop. Where are those little green men? They'll find them in the end.
They had to put a building over that spaceship, you hear?
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to a very special episode of Truth Seekers, which we are calling Spanksgiving. Somebody, when he was a child, didn't spank this guy for lying through his teeth enough, right? Like, you ever know that kid that's just always lying on the playground or something? And you tell your parents, like, well, that kid lies all the time. And your parents would say, well, sounds like he didn't get spanked enough. So tonight we're going to do the job that Ross Coulthart's parents should have done. And by the way, I just want to put on the record, like, this guy's got a wife and children, right? Like, and I think his children are a little older. So, like, do their daddy know that he's a clown selling fake alien and UFO shit on the internet to stupid people? And the sad part is this guy used to be a respected journalist in Australia. But most recently, they call him an award-winning journalist when they're hyping him up to sell their alien stories because, he does the circle jerk with all the rest of these losers. He is an award-winning journalist, but what they forget to tell you is the latest award that he's won is called the Bent Spoon Award. And it was an award given to him for producing the most ridiculous, childish, stupid, and fake stories in all of Australia. He won that award last year. Congratulations. He is an award-winning journalist. He's a garbage peddling shit peddler. All right, we're going to get into it tonight. But before we do, I want to welcome in the live chat. We've already got great attendance here that I see. Welcome veteran viewers and our influx of new viewers lately. So besides, everybody knows that David Wilcock is one of my favorite UFO and alien grifters. But besides David Wilcock, this guy is perhaps my second favorite. Or, he's at least in the top 5 for me. Because people love to argue with me, but we have produced so many stories about him selling fake alien and UFO bull that we've produced a deep dive. I'm a terrible show host. I forgot to add the link to that deep dive in the description of this video or podcast, but I will do it. So by the time the broadcast ends, if you like a little bit of tonight's festivities on Spanksgiving, you're going to love this. Listen, people love to argue with me. Oh, he's an award-winning journalist. Listen, I'm here to tell you that if somebody can produce 12 hours of content detailing all the fake, ridiculous evidence or evidence-free stories that you've been caught peddling for money, you are not a real journalist. You're a goddamn joke. So welcome, one and all, especially all those from Australia, because the funny part is every time I do a show on this clown, people from Australia message me and they go like, that everybody in Australia knows he's a joke, right? Well, yeah. And, essentially what happened is that this guy got caught selling a completely and totally fake story about a British parliament being involved in a child predator ring. Turns out the whole story was fake. He gets shit canned. I'm sorry, his contract was not renewed. We have to be accurate here. I don't get sued. This guy is a lawyer. By the way, that's another thing. This guy has been to college for 8 years. 8 years he spent in college. And yet he doesn't know basic fact-checking skills, having multiple sources before running with a very sensationalized story. He doesn't know how to do any fact-checking, any investigation at all, which there's no excuse. If you've been to college for 8 years, buddy, you should know you need multiple sources before you publish a story. You should know how to fact check and investigate the people making the claims. He does none of that. None of that. He doesn't do anything like that. So there's really just two choices here. Either Ross Coulthart is the dumbest goddamn journalist in all of Australia, maybe the world, or he's doing this shit on purpose to make money. I know that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yes, let's go. I want to take a moment to welcome in the live chat, but before I do, I have to scan through it. For those unaware, we're working on new software, and our old software used to star or put the super chats in a separate column. This one does not do that, so I've got to scan through it all. Before we begin, we're going to thank Mike Larry, Praise the Cash member, who gifted 20 Truth Seekers memberships. And this, my friends, is why I have to remind you. Thank you, Mike Larry. Very, very generous. That's $100 worth of free Truth Seekers memberships. But before we begin, I want to remind you of something. You see, the people, very generous people, are gifting these Truth Seekers memberships. And what happens is, if you're in the live chat when somebody does that, you get a chance to win one of the free Truth Seekers memberships. But you have to be a subscriber in order to qualify. And then YouTube, when somebody buys these gifted memberships, randomly puts them out. Let's see if we can get to 50 gifted memberships. That's my goal. If we hit the goal, we'll go into overtime at the end of the usual broadcast, and we'll do an Ask Me Anything. The goal tonight is 50 Truth Seekers gifted memberships. We're almost halfway there, thanks to the kindness, generosity, and support of Mike Larry. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You'll know when we're doing a live show, and you too can win a Truth Seekers membership. What do you get? Well, you get some extra goodies. You get a YouTube member badge, access to priority reply in the comments and the live chat, and more. It's a great way to support the show. So before we begin, I want to make sure I remind you, go and smash that subscribe button, and you too could win a free membership. 20 people, thanks to the kindness and generosity of the MVP of both Buy Me a Coffee and buying free memberships for our fans here, Mike Larry. Very, very generous of you. Go subscribe now, because we're going to have more gifted memberships throughout tonight's broadcast. You could win one. Go subscribe now. All right, friends. So welcome to tonight's festivities. Tonight is a very special holiday. We're going to do it every year on the Tuesday or Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Every year going forward, we're going to do a very special Truth Seekers Spanksgiving. And tonight we're featuring Ross Coulthart, from investigative journalist to peddler of UFO fantasies. He's one of those guys that sells so many fake stories that I get confused, and I generally do many or most of our shows with no scripts, but occasionally I want to make sure, especially because this guy's some kind of lawyer. I'm a lawyer, right? We want to make sure that we get our facts correct. So I have written a prepared statement, and before we go further, and by the way, he got caught again. He just got caught again. We've caught him so many times previously that there's a 12-hour compilation of all his fake shit. He just got caught again. And he has a podcast called Need to Know. And what you need to know is he sells fake stories. So before we begin, though, a little bit of a history lesson, my friends, about this clown. Ross Coulthart, after all, he was once a respected investigative journalist in Australia when he started his career. And he was known for his work on hard-hitting exposés for programs such as 60 Minutes Australia. However, his career took a sharp turn following significant controversies, including the fallout from a discredited story about an alleged pedophilia ring in the British Parliament. That story turned out to be completely and totally false, and Media Watch, of all organizations, slammed it as completely and totally fake. Today, Coulthart is a prominent figure in the world of UFOs, promoting sensational claims about UFOs and aliens that just so happen to lack any evidence. And of course, he's catering to a niche but profitable audience. Tonight, before we begin the rest of the presentation, we'll critically examine Coulthart's fall from grace and his pivot to UFO sensationalism and profit-driven motives that underlie his current endeavors. Of course, his fall from grace really began with this British Parliament scandal and Coulthart's exit from 60 Minutes Australia. In 2015, Coulthart produced a so-called bombshell report for 60 Minutes Australia that he said would be the biggest story ever about the British government in the history of the world. So he over-sensationalized the story. And the story alleged a massive child predator ring operating within the British Parliament. He named names, calling people child predators. The story was built around claims from a key source, which Coulthart presented as credible. However, Australia's Media Watch exposed significant flaws in his reporting, including a lack of corroborating evidence and a reliance on dubious testimony. The story was widely criticized as speculative and completely and totally irresponsible from a journalism perspective, ultimately contributing to Coulthart's departure from the program, many say. This marked a turning point in Coulthart's career. The scandal tarnished his reputation so badly and signaled his declining credibility as a journalist committed to rigorous actual investigation and real factual reporting. So, after the disgrace of essentially having his contract not renewed, some people say he got fired. He goes, "Oh no, my contract was just not renewed." Yeah, that's what happens when you get caught calling a bunch of innocent people child predators with no evidence. By the way, his primary source for that story was later arrested because it turned out he made up the entire story so that he could sue people and get money from his false claims. So then he entered the UFO business. After his exit from mainstream journalism, Coulthart reinvented himself as a UFO investigator, enthusiast, author, and promoter of alien-related stories. His ridiculously shitty 2021 book called In Plain Sight delves into the UFO phenomenon, making extraordinary claims while providing little or no actual evidence. And much of the claims in his book have been proven to be completely and totally fake. Like the Wilson Davis notes. Coulthart has since positioned himself as a key figure in the so-called UFO disclosure movement, often making appearances on social media and interviews to promote his evidence-free theories. The problem with Coulthart is that a critical analysis reveals that he frequently aligns himself with figures who make similarly dubious evidence-free claims. For example, his promotion of David Grusch, a former U.S. intelligence officer who alleged that the U.S. government possessed non-human spacecraft and even alien bodies. That story has been widely criticized because, after all, he came out with that story so long ago. I always have to remind myself, so please forgive me. It's been 540 days since the Dave Grusch story, and so far, David Grusch has provided zero evidence to back up his claims. And what's interesting is that Coulthart, in order to sell the story, he purposely conflated multiple events. the David Grusch made a complaint to the Intelligence Community Inspector General alleging that there was reprisals taken against him. And so there was a statement from the ICIG in which Coulthart clipped it that said, we find his claims to be urgent and credible. But the Intelligence Community Inspector General wasn't talking about his non-human spacecraft claims, his alien body claims, his claims of alien, I'm sorry, I always get this wrong, and then I get bitched at by you true believers, interdimensional space monsters murdering humans on Earth. The urgent and credible wasn't about any of that. It was just a statement saying, well, we find every complaint of retaliation to be urgent and credible, and everyone is investigated. The Intelligence Community Inspector General never, to this day, still hasn't investigated any of his aliens or UFO claims. But Ross Coulthart used that line from the Intelligence Community Inspector General to make the story seem credible. In other words, he fudged the data to sell a sensational story. Coulthart's endorsement of Grusch mirrors his past journalistic missteps, which is a reliance on sensational claims over substantiated facts. It is a pattern that has followed Coulthart from his investigative days to his current role in the UFO community. And let's talk about a track record of fake stories. Coulthart has repeatedly been caught promoting stories that fail to withstand scrutiny. For instance, he has featured alleged UFO witnesses whose credibility has been called into question, such as in the case of Dave Grusch. He forgot to tell us that Dave Grusch was a former mental patient that was an alcoholic that got locked up against his will in a mental institution. And despite many of the claims he makes being proven false, these stories continue to garner attention and therefore money, largely because they catered to a specific audience willing to overlook the lack of evidence. The cyclical nature of these claims, bold assertions followed by their inevitable debunking, raises questions about Coulthart's motivations. Far from being a genuine attempt to uncover the truth, his work appears to be tailored to maintain a profitable audience eager for sensationalist content. And of course, there's a profit motive here. I believe a significant driver of Coulthart's pivot to UFOs is, of course, financial. The market for UFO books, documentaries, and interviews is very, very lucrative. People are making millions and tens of millions of dollars on these stories. So with a dedicated audience willing to pay for sensational stories, Coulthart's role in this ecosystem benefits him financially, even as his credibility erodes further and further with each fake story he gets caught selling. By repackaging unverified claims and aligning himself with controversial figures like David Grusch and, of course, the fake Pentagon UFO program director Lou Elizondo, who's a complete and total fraud, Coulthart ensures a steady stream of attention and therefore revenue. After all, we live in an attention-based economy right now. And if you can generate attention, you can generate revenue. His methods echo those of other discredited figures in the UFO community who also profit from perpetrating myths without any evidence. Ross Coulthart's career trajectory from a respected investigative journalist to a purveyor of UFO fantasies is a cautionary tale about the perils of prioritizing sensationalism over truth or actual evidence. His fall from grace underscores the importance of journalistic integrity and the dangers of chasing profit at the expense of credibility. While Coulthart's work may appeal to believers in the UFO phenomenon, any critical look at his stories whatsoever reveals a consistent pattern of unverified claims, lack of evidence, flawed reporting, use of less than credible sources, and of course, financial motivation. His promotion of figures like Lou Elizondo and David Grusch, or even Eric Davis, because he made a lot of money selling the Davis story in his book, and his reliance on sensationalist narratives demonstrates a departure from the standards of actual investigative journalism he once upheld. He still calls himself an investigative journalist, but tonight we're going to show you he's not an investigative journalist. He's a shit peddler. He peddles shit. Every time I think of Ross Coulthart, I think of a guy pushing a big cart of shit up a hill. That's what Ross Coulthart's position here is. And ultimately, Coulthart's pivot to UFOs is less about uncovering the truth and more about capitalizing on an audience willing to believe the extraordinary with no evidence whatsoever. So, friends, pardon the little history lesson, but I always remind myself that some people are not quite up to speed on this stuff. So we want to thank Mike Larry for the 20 Truth Seekers memberships. And look at all the people that got a free membership. I came, I saw, I cringed. Whitty McGee. We've got BB Phil got a free membership from Mike Larry. We have Gruel. Is that how you say it? Or Grula? Needed a name. As a great user ID. Very original. Pop Busta got a free membership as well. And we've got I Say a Lot of Stuff. We've got Just Jenny. Just Jenny was gifted a membership by Mike Larry. We've got Sofan Ninja was gifted a free membership. Wacky Shuck gifted a free membership. I'm telling you, hit that subscribe button. You could get a free membership too. Art Lewis got a free membership. We have Pingashoe got a free membership. Threxbox got a free membership. Justin MF got a free membership. Beck is potatoing. Okay, got a free membership. The Notorious TG3 got a membership. David Wilcox, not Wilcock, got a free membership. The fourth, I like how he has to specify that. I'm not that dickhead. The fourth plateau, praise the cash member. Infamous 1426 became a praise the cash member. Ultra Terrestrial became a praise the cash member. All this thanks to the kindness, generosity of Mike Larry. I don't have any praise the cash bumpers tonight, but we thank you, Mike Larry, and welcome all you new channel members. And by the way, don't be a leech. After that expires, give me the $5. It's worth it. Trolly Troll with a kind and generous $10 says, hope this is enough to buy a pie for Thanksgiving Day dessert. Yeah, that's plenty. And we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We're praising the cash tonight. We are definitely praising the cash. So, oh, wow. Look at this. High Speed Chase with 5 more. We're halfway to our goal of 50 gifted memberships. High Speed Chase, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. And I have to message you about some projects. High Speed Chase gifted 5 Truth Seekers memberships. Again, this is why you smash the subscribe button. You could get one if you're in the live chat. Church Builder gifted a free membership. We have Biohazard Fallout got a free membership. Blaine W got a free membership. Mother Freya got a free membership. And Steve Benningfield, Benningfield got a free membership. Very, very kind and generous of you people gifting the memberships. For those unaware, we read every single super chat and we thank every single person. We also want to take a moment to praise the cash and welcome and thank you, PayPal pledgers. We have Nemesis Bex with a kind and generous. I didn't log into PayPal, but I think it's a $10 PayPal pledge. I apologize if I didn't get the amount correct. We'll check in with those a little bit later. So before we begin on the latest story that he got caught with, we're going to go over a few things, like his past fake stories that he has been caught with. One of my favorites was that Ross Coulthart found a guy that had a ball. I'm not kidding you. This is a true story. So Ross Coulthart found this hippie guy that used to be a roadie for some musicians. And he had a ball that he swore was an alien, something to do with aliens. So Ross Coulthart went and scraped the ball with a screwdriver because that's the scientific way to do that, right? And anyway, Ross Coulthart in the promos for this documentary was so deceptive that they were forced to take it down off of YouTube because it's against YouTube terms and practices to be deceptive in order to get people to click on a video. And in his promos, Ross Coulthart claimed that they had, quote, definitive proof of alien technology, all confirmed by this man. And then they cut to a shot of Michio Kaku, who was in the documentary, But Michio Kaku did the same shit he always does. Talk about theoretical physics. Oh, yeah, faster than light travel may be possible. And that may be how they're getting here. Wormholes. No, Michio Kaku did not confirm that they had proof of extraterrestrial technology. But that's how they deceptively cut the promos so people would click on it so they could make a lot of money selling bullshit. All right. So we're going to take a trip down memory lane. And this is Ross Coulthart's Big Bluff. And it also involved Gary Nolan, who you may be familiar with. He was involved with that Atacama humanoid hoax with Stephen Greer. Now, to his credit, eventually he debunked it, but not before they made a lot of money selling a documentary, and they just, oh shit, we couldn't get the DNA results until after we made all that money selling the documentary. Very shady. Gary Nolan is like the crackhead scientist that you call in. He sells his credibility. So if you're like a crackpot and you're trying to sell fake UFO or alien stories and you need a scientist to help co-sign your bullshit, you call in Gary Nolan. Gary Nolan's a big fan of truth seekers, just so everybody knows. Gary Nolan has been caught with fake stories himself, and Gary Nolan is basically going against the ethics standards at Stanford University. According to the ethics rules at Stanford University, if you're a professor there, you're not allowed to use university labs, equipment, or personnel to personally profit. Yet here he is in these promos showing off Stanford University equipment that he's going to use to verify the truth about aliens. Turns out, not only did they not have conclusive proof of alien technology, they didn't have any proof of any alien technology. It was all bullshit. It was deceptively edited nonsense. Look, Michio Kaku confirms we have conclusive proof of alien technology. By the way, what's going on with Michio Kaku? Look, dude, I called the university he works at 4 times. I emailed 5 times, and I tweeted at him 5 times, all asking him for comment about how he feels being used by Ross Coulthart to sell a completely and totally fake story. And did he get a check big enough to justify that? Anyway, let's take a trip down memory lane and watch Ross Coulthart. He's about to get felted selling this whole fake story, you dumbass. Listen, you never go full wackadoo. He went full wackadoo on this. Let's take a look.
And can I just say, you know, even though I'm not entirely comfortable at times with the way they sensationalize in their promos, because I thought the promos for our story were a tad over the top at times.
What you're seeing here is momentous.
You think that's alien technology?
Yes, I do.
I thought the promos for our story were a tad over the top.
We have new, conclusive proof.
Testable evidence of alien technology.
Tad over the top at times.
Is it possible to exceed the speed of light? The answer is yes.
The biggest discovery in human history.
Promos for our story were a tad over the top.
New evidence that has to be seen to be believed.
7 News Spotlight, Sunday on 7 and 7+.
Not entirely comfortable at times with the way they sensationalize in their promos, because I thought the promos for our story were a tad over the top at times.
I got scrapings off Jim's balls. 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 I got scrapings off Jim's balls.
I probably would be more cautious about in terms of how we present it is the sphere story, for the simple fact that we just don't know yet whether it is or it isn't non-human technology.
We have new, conclusive proof, testable evidence of alien technology.
Frankly, whilst a lot of people want us to say, yeah, it's alien technology, we're not going to say that.
We have new, conclusive proof, testable evidence of alien technology. This renowned scientist confirms it all.
Whilst a lot of people want us to say, yeah, it's alien technology, we're not going to say that because that's a terrible danger.
We have new, conclusive proof, testable evidence of alien technology.
A lot of people want us to say, yeah, it's alien technology. We're not going to say that.
Alien technology. This renowned scientist confirms it all.
We're not going to say that.
New, conclusive proof, testable evidence of alien technology. This renowned scientist confirms it all.
We're not going to say that for the simple fact that we just don't know yet whether it is or it isn't non-human technology.
Oh, God. So, what a hypocrite. He goes on a show saying, oh, we're not saying it's alien technology, while he's saying it's alien technology. And again, that story was deceptively edited to sell it. And the way they did that was by pretending that Michio Kaku confirmed that they had evidence of alien technology. I guess they gave him a check to be in the documentary, but you see, what he's talking about is the same shit he's always talking about in every documentary. Faster than light travel may indeed be possible. We want to take a moment to thank a very generous fat chick thriller with a kind of generous $79.99 Australian. Very generous of you. Felt it by work, so I can't catch this live. But so effing keen for Spanksgiving. Keep up the great work, Steve. Suffer, Ross. Yes, suffer, Ross. Thank you very much for your kindness, generosity, and support, and for helping us to praise the cash, friends. All right. And we've got Hypnotoad with a kind and generous $10 super chat. You probably have gone over this, but if there is there any theories, alien, ghosts, demons, cryptics, ancient stuff that you believe? Well, I grew up Catholic, and I have been studying angelology and demonology for quite some time as a background task here. And I will tell you this, there's more evidence of demons and angels than there is of aliens. And many people think that these things may be one and the same. I'm kind of leaning that way. As far as cryptids, I love Bigfoot. I have a Bigfoot face on my cabin, and I have a lot of Bigfoot stuff at my cabin, which is in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, which, by the way, there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings. Not so sure I believe in most of the cryptids, though, because what I see is just as much hoaxery, fakery, and fraudery in the cryptid world that I do in the UFO world. But thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. As far as aliens, I still hold on to Roswell, thinking that it may have been the seed of truth in all of this mythology, that maybe, just maybe, something otherworldly crashed there. I was like Melio with a kind and generous $4.99. Spark up a cigarette, Stephen. We're felting on Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble, wackadoos. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support, and for helping us to praise the cash. A fat chick thriller with another one, $7.99 Australian, says conclusively inconclusive. Yes, absolutely. And 3 Havoc with a kind and generous Australian $10. You have inspired me to do my own totally legit video as bait to these people. Good idea. Let me know how that works out. We would love to hear it. And yes, I appreciate that. Stephen, do you believe in alien life, says Gemma Jackson. We'll catch some of your regular live chat comments. Yes, I believe, just due to the vastness of the universe. we can't be alone in the universe. And actually, I think maybe it was Carl Sagan who said there's two possibilities: either the universe is teeming with intelligent life, or we are the only intelligent life in the universe, and either prospect uh, is terrifying. I really believe that, especially if you look at like some of the harshest conditions on Earth, they find life at the bottom of volcanoes. They find life at the bottom of frozen, 3 miles below the surface Antarctica. They find bacteria. So life finds a way, Gemma Jackson. I truly believe that there is life out there somewhere in the universe, somewhere, maybe not in our galaxy though. And the big challenge, there's a lot of challenges with discovering that intelligent life, the Fermi paradox and many other things. It's fascinating to me. But I think all this new study into exoplanets and things like that leads me to believe that there's got to be other worlds. If life erupted here, then what's to say it didn't just spontaneously erupt on another planet that is in the Goldilocks zone, that has liquid water, whatever? And by the way, we're already finding liquid water all over our solar system. They're on the moons of Saturn and maybe Jupiter and some other planets. There's Titan. There's water on the moon. There's water on Mars. I believe there has to be other life on other planets. But thank you for the question. E.T., with a kind of generous $20 Canadian, no message, just says $20 from ET. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Thanks to all of you guys helping us to praise the cash tonight. Very, very generous of you. I am very thankful for all your kindness, generosity, and support. Now, we're going to move on to another of Ross Coulthart's completely and totally fake story. The next one's great. So this next one, how do I explain this most easily? Ross Coulthart finds a scammer on eBay who's trying to scam people for a patch, claiming that it has something to do with alien crash retrievals at Area 51. And what it turns out is that the guy was a complete and total scammer who had multiple eBay listings. And some of the listings, he said he got the patch while working on the top secret project. And other of his eBay listings, we found all these and showed all these on a previous episode. It turns out his uncle got the patch, and he got the patch from his uncle. So this clown goes to Ross Coulthart and goes, "This is a patch from an alien crash retrieval program at Area 51. Ross sells the story, but at first he refuses to actually show the patch. Literally an hour or two after he finally shows the patch that is the source of this story, which he claims is proof there's alien crash retrievals taking place at Area 51, an Area 51 expert identified the patch. It was from a group at Area 51, but it was a radar research group. It had nothing to do with aliens. But Ross Coulthart, scumbag that he is, he went and he did monetized podcasts telling this fake story. He did a monetized podcast of his own telling this fake story. He did other people's monetized podcasts selling this story. And then the scummiest part of all of this is that he did a live appearance where he got paid a lot of money, I'm told, to speak at a UFO gathering of dorks. And at that UFO gathering of UFO dorks, he told this completely and totally fake story. We caught him, thanks to the kindness and generosity and help of an Area 51 expert who quickly identified the patch and said that has nothing to do with aliens. He never gave the money back, but he did get a lot of money to tell this fake story at a UFO convention. And as far as I know, I was told, I don't know if this is accurate, so take from it what you will. People try to scrub the video where he's pumping up this fake story. And by the way, while he's doing it, he's bitching about those terrible debunkers that debunk his fake stories, right? Anyway, so he gets paid a lot of money to go to a live event and tell this story. This was the main thing he talked about at that live event. He got paid a lot of money for. So I just want to know, Ross, did you defraud those people who paid good money to hear the truth about aliens? And all you gave them is lies about an alien patch that had nothing to do with what you said. He said this patch was from an alien crash retrieval program. Turns out that's a completely and totally fake story. So this is just one of them, but we're going to play you what he said while he was being paid to give everybody the truth about the aliens. And what he did while he was being paid to give everybody the truth about the aliens and the Area 51 crash retrieval program is he lied to everybody and sold them a completely and totally fake story. And by the way, he could have contacted an Area 51 historian and he could have got the truth about that patch, but he didn't do that. Instead, he took money to sell and talk about a completely and totally 100% fake story. Let's check it out, friends.
So anyway, can we please show the patch, Josh? I did a Need to Know vodcast a few weeks ago, and I talked about a guy whose relative worked at Area 51. And there were a lot of skeptics and debunkers at the time who said, oh, he didn't put the patch up that he referred to on the podcast. And the guy was so angry that I'm using this, by the way, to talk about the dilemma of witnesses. Because the guy who has allowed me to talk about this was so angry that there was the usual spite, malice and bitchiness from so much of UFO Twitter that he said, oh, I'm going to allow you to run it. You can run it. This is a patch of a relative of a guy that approached me who has given evidence to AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. And I'm only going to put it up for a little while, and then we'll put the Close Encounters thing down again, and we'll talk about it at the very end. But you're all given the duration of my speech to crack the secret behind the patch. Okay? There's a really interesting story there, and it's quite hilarious. But what it goes to is what this person, and very, very convincingly now, on the basis of information he's provided me privately, convinces me that this is a patch for a team at Area 51 that are involved in reverse engineering. And more importantly, the story that he told me that I related in my vodcast with Bryce Zabel, Need to Know, an exemplary vodcast if any of you are interested, was that this guy's relative had been working, I can actually tell you a little bit more about him. He had been working as a data configuration specialist at Area 51. He collected data from engineering tests and was in charge of storing it inside large, secure vaults. And he had access that others didn't have in that regard. And he told me that he was part of a group of 10 individuals who worked on terrestrial-based technology. But there were specific groups, he alleges, within EG&G, they are the former administrators of Area 51, that did certain things. And there was a senior EG&G engineer who his relative spoke with in 1997, who was in charge of reverse engineering what his relative told him was non-human technology. And he said that in the data room where all of this material was kept, there was a huge image on the wall of an egg-shaped craft that had been found fully intact, resting on the desert floor of a remote US location. He didn't tell, his relative didn't tell him the exact location where it was found. In fact, his relative was very non-compliant. What happened, to be honest, was this was a young man who took an interest in the fact that his relative worked at Area 51 and one day wandered into the study and snapped a picture of this patch. And the reason why I'm sure that he's telling me the truth is because he also snapped a picture of a group of people. And without going into the details about that picture, it has more than convinced me as to his bona fides. But essentially, at the heart of all of this there is a story behind this patch. We will come to that later. You can take it away now, Josh.
So, like many of Ross Coulthart's story, this story completely and totally falls apart under scrutiny. His only evidence is a story from a eBay scammer who was trying to sell that patch for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, claiming that it was from a top secret project involving alien crash retrievals and reverse engineering. A verified, bona fide, real Area 51 historian immediately was able to identify that patch as belonging to a radar research group. Had nothing to do with aliens, crash retrievals, or anything else. And if Ross Coulthart had actually done his homework on that source of his, he would have found that the guy had multiple eBay listings. In some of them, he claimed he was the guy in the secret project. In others, it was his uncle. And you notice that he didn't name that EG&G person. It's always anonymous. Somebody told me, trust me, bro. And just one of those things. We want to take a moment to thank ET again for a kind and generous $2 Canadian. Please have Peter Davenport as a guest. Well, I'll put him on my list. Listen, anytime somebody asks me to have a guest, especially if multiple users do, I at least will email several times. I'll do 2. And if the person's not interested, they're not interested. But I would be happy to have him on the show. I'm vaguely familiar with him, but we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And before I forget, we want to make sure that we also want to recognize, I say a lot of stuff with a kind and generous $4.99 super chat who says, suffer, journalism, suffer. Yes, journalism has suffered because this guy calling himself a journalist is basically an insult to the entire, occupation of journalism. He's not a journalist. He's a garbage peddler. Did Timothy Alberino respond? No. And I emailed him twice. I'll email him again, though, Arlene. When people want a guest here, we try to bring them. We're here to, do what the audience wants, right? Bradley Frank says, felt it. Yes, absolutely. Ryan Malo says, Ross going to suffer for this. Suffer, bish. Yeah, suffer, bish. You Australian bish. And by the way, this guy comes to the United States and he's taking jobs from real good United States investigative journalists, even though it's shit job at News Nation, and by the way, one of his supporters has claimed that I'm jealous that I didn't get the UFO reporter job at News Nation. And I just want to say the only way that I would take a job with News Nation is if I was allowed to smack the shit out of Chris Cuomo on a daily basis. And it would have to be in my contract that I'm allowed to smack the shit out of Chris Cuomo whenever I see him. Otherwise, no, I'm not interested in News Nation. And for those unaware, News Nation is a garbage, trash, new news network that's basically the UFO channel. That's all they cover. They cover other things, but like half of what they cover is these fake stories from these assholes. Amazing segue, says Dylan. Thank you. I wasn't trying, but yeah. Thoughts on Billy Carson? I think he's about as credible as a crackhead holding up a gas can, asking you for gas money to get home at a gas station in the hood. That's what I think of him. And by the way, he just got felted by a Christian researcher who he debated, and then he begged to have the video taken down or not put up because he got felted so badly. Leave us Aussies out of it. The guy's a Kiwi? Is that how you say that? All right, Jay Roach. All right, and before I forget, I want to take a moment to once again remind you, it's very, very important that you subscribe to our channel. It really, really does help, and you can get a free membership. We're halfway to our goal of 50 gifted memberships tonight. We're at 25, I believe. But take a moment, smash the subscribe button, comment on these videos. Make sure you share them on your social media. It really, really does help. All right. And so also, uh, I get so confused with the number of fake stories. Let's make sure that we've covered the bigger ones. I believe that we have, but let me share my screen. This is some of our previous reporting on garbage peddler Ross Coulthart. And there we go. So we've given you a lesson on the fake British Parliament story. That was 100% fake story. Conclusive proof of alien technology, all confirmed by Michio Kaku. That was a completely and totally fake story. Area 51 reverse engineering program. That was 100% fake story. And let's not forget, there's a couple others of my favorites of his, and that would be the fake Wilson Davis memo notes story and the giant alien spaceship. In the beginning of our broadcast, we had an excellent music video by Simon Fly. Shout out to Simon Fly. Look him up on YouTube. Go subscribe to his channel. And also, before I forget, I want to thank Simon Fly for the excellent music videos. He does most of the ones that we share. But tonight we shared another one that was great by Charlie Weiser. You can look her up on YouTube. It's just CH Charlie and then Weiser, Wiser, on YouTube. I have put in the description of this video or podcast Charlie Weiser, and it's Charlie Weiser, her YouTube channel. She's doing incredible videos, and she's not getting a very good viewership over there. So do me a favor and go over to Charlie Weiser's channel. The link is in the description of the video, and I'll even put it in the live chat. You got to go over there and subscribe, because I remember when I was first starting on YouTube, it's tough. You work on something for a week or two, and then you post it and you get 50 views. She's doing like incredible production and editing and all of that stuff, and not getting very many views. So it's at $3 Kit on YouTube, at Like It Matters 3 on X to follow Charlie Weiser. I'm going to go over to I have to put it in the actual live chat. We're going to pin Charlie Weiser's YouTube channel in the description of this. We're going to pin it right into the live chat. And this is Charlie Weiser's YouTube channel that I'm pinning in the chat. I like to pay it forward. Recently, I was the beneficiary of very kind and generous content creators in the form of Kino Casino. Gave me a big bump and helped a lot. And we'd like to pay it forward. Go on over and subscribe to Charlie Weiser's channel if you think this making fun of alien and UFO wackadoos is funny. I'm sure you'll enjoy Charlie's content. I always do. And we share some of it here. So please do go over and do that. So this will bring us more or less up to date. Well, there's the giant alien spaceship story. Oh, it's wrong. Charlie Weiser told me that it should. I got the description wrong in the description. I'll do it right now. I'll fix it right now, Charlie Weiser. I've pinned it in the description in the live chat as well. So let me fix this right now. I will fix the link in the live channel. 1 second. Let me make sure that works. Live show, friends. You get it warts and all. 1 second here. Yeah, okay, Charlie, I apologize. I fixed it. And I put it I pinned it in the live chat as well. So this will bring us more or less up to date. Oh, the giant alien spaceship. That's his most ridiculous, stupid, fake story. Ross Coulthart claims that he knows the location on Earth of a giant alien spaceship. And the spaceship is so big it can't be moved. And so they just build a building around it in order to hide the alien spaceship. And he knows exactly where it is, but he can't tell us. At some point it becomes like a child. It's so childish and it's so stupid. Oh, and besides thanking Charlie Weiser and Simon Fly, I also want to thank Stephen Greenstreet of the New York Post. There's 2 of those trailers available where he where Ross Coulthart lied and said they had conclusive proof of alien technology. I used the one that Mr. Greenstreet did because he has Gonzo falling down in balloons in his and just funnier. So shout out to Stephen Greenstreet at Middle of Mayhem on Twitter. And from the basement office, he's the only mainstream reporter getting this shit right. And while we're at it, talking about Greenstreet, I want to share this. I wasn't even aware of this. This is funny. Nothing says credible. Nothing says credible, friends. Credible investigative journalists like this shit. Oh, man. Talk about UFO profiteer. Stephen Greenstreet says UFO religious leader Ross Coulthart is asking his faithful followers to spend $5,300 on his Egyptian psychic powers tour. Coulthart, somehow also an investigative journalist at News Nation, recently threatened anti-UFO people with horrific violence. So, look it, come and see the pyramids with me and my psychic friends, and it will only cost you $5,300. But it gets better though, because this guy is so unhinged, he's really, really losing it. He is so unhinged that he is threatening people with murder. If they know the truth about the aliens and they don't tell us, then they should be murdered, he says here in this clip. And I want to take a moment to put my fair use banner up. This is a transformative work. We are educating the public and critiquing the video that we are sharing. And this is certainly covered under fair use. That UFO podcast, this is fair use. So lawyer letters are standing by. If you'd like to get a strike revert to your channel, feel free to file a false copyright claim or strike against me. And by the way, I just want to say, like, as a show host, why would you let somebody basically say that people should be murdered on your show? Are you an idiot? Like, are you that stupid that you're going to let somebody threaten people with physical violence on your show and you're not going to jump in and say, like, whoa, dude, that's too much? Of course he didn't, because he's a true believing UFO celebrity ass licker. Yeah.
And if there's been this cover-up, if there's been this lying going on where certain individuals in the intelligence community and the defense community have essentially conspired with sections of private aerospace to criminally, illegally conceal stuff from congressional oversight, well, not only should they be tarred and feathered and dragged around Washington, D.C. and stoned behind a Humvee, they should also be named and shamed. And if there's been this cover-up, if there's been this lying going on where certain individuals in the intelligence community and the...
He said they should be stoned and hung, tarred, feathered, stoned and hung and drugged behind a Humvee.
Defense community have essentially conspired with sections of private aerospace to criminally, illegally conceal stuff from congressional oversight. Well, not only should they be tarred and feathered and dragged around Washington, D.C. and stoned behind a Humvee, they should also be named and shamed.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that he says there's this huge cover-up, but he won't name them or shame them? He wants people that disagree with his alien bullshit to be tarred, feathered, drug around Washington, D.C. behind a Humvee, and then stoned. And this podcast host is just like, yeah, sounds good to me. Enemies of disclosure. This is how you know you're in a cult. If you're a show host and you just think this is okay for a guest to say, and you don't intervene or like say, whoa, that's a bridge too far, or like, hey, we can't. At the very least, as a show host, you should say something like, hey, we can't support or condone people advocating for violence against people. And of course, he never names the people, right? Oh, they should be named and shamed. Great, then name them. Who's doing this terribly illegal stuff, Ross Coulthart? Oh, that's right. You don't know. You got nothing. It's just, how cultic does it get? It gets pretty cultic. It's pretty culty at this point. All right, I have some more things on my Twitter that we'll be sharing. By the way, be sure to follow me on X. I'll be saying Twitter for the rest of my life. Be sure to follow me on X. It's at Stephen Cambion, just my name. And along with the claims of a giant alien spaceship, He makes a lot of claims. Here he is on Theories of Everything, claiming that people are being harassed, intimidated, and threatened with murder, but he won't name who those people are. That's how you know he's full of shit. Like, if people are actually threatening to murder people, shouldn't you, as a journalist, expose that? But he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. And again, this is fair use. This is a transformative work. I really don't think Kurt from Theories of Anything will have a problem with me sharing this, but it's fair use. Oh, 1 second. He also claims in this clip that he's under surveillance, but he shows no evidence of that, of course. Right? Oh, you gotta love this dude's going full wackadoo, man.
Are you afraid for your life?
No, not at all. I mean, I accept that I'm probably under surveillance. I know that I am at times, but
you haven't been told, "Hey, stop talking about it," or some Men in Black or some other.
No. And I think they know I would go public if they did. I mean, at the moment any threat like that emerged, I'd make my damnedest to make sure the world knew about it.
So no intimidation, no harassment.
No, but the witnesses that I'm talking to have been intimidated. They have been harassed, and they've been told on some occasions that they would be murdered if they spoke out about it.
So this guy is aware that people have been threatened with murder if they speak out about the alien truth. This is a plot device. It's like from a bad James Bond film or like a bad science fiction film. Like, you better shut up about those aliens or they'll find your body out there in the desert someday. This is a long-held trope of mythology, garbage, fake mythology that these guys use to pretend that this is real. Pretend that this information is so dangerous that people are being threatened with being murdered. Come on, Ross Coulthart. Somebody's going to murder you for telling fake stories about the British Parliament. Somebody's going to murder you for talking to a mental patient like Dave Grusch and helping him sell his evidence-free claims of alien bodies, alien crash retrievals, and even interdimensional space monsters murdering humans on Earth. Somebody's going to murder you for that or murder him for that. But yet these people never get murdered. You know what that means? Their stories are fake as shit. Nobody's murdering anybody. So stupid and childish. All right. I have just a few more to share, and then we'll get to the latest fake story that he's been caught selling, which is it's just one of my favorites so far. All right. We're going to skip that one. I don't care about that. Oh, Immaculate Conception, though. Here's another fake story that he's been caught selling. He's been caught selling so many fake stories that I literally lose my place. I can't keep them all straight. There's so many fake stories. For those unaware, Michael Schellenberger, who's another garbage peddler, but he's an American garbage peddler. He used to be a good journalist. He's fallen to the dark side of UFOs too because he's a lazy slob. All of his stories are based on anonymous sources. He claimed last year that 30 or 40 more whistleblowers were coming forward, and the truth that Dave Grusch told would be confirmed by dozens of other whistleblowers. Nobody came forward. You know why? Because his stories are as fake as a $3 bill, just like Ross Coulthart's. But isn't it interesting? This is another fake story that Ross Coulthart is all too happy to peddle, and these grifters, they all work together.
Pentagon is illegally hiding secret UFO programs from Congress, sources allege. Tell me more, sir.
Sources allege. Yes, anonymous sources allege this.
A new whistleblower has come forward with a written report that this person has shared with some members of Congress and with me, and the report is quite extraordinary. It says that
it's a report written by an anonymous person, which means you might as well just take that report and wipe your ass with it. Mr. Schellenberger, take that report and wipe your ass with it. And when you're done wiping your ass with it, give that report to Ross Coulthart and he can wipe his ass with it. And when you guys are all done wiping your ass with that worthless report, you can FedEx it to me and I will wipe my ass with it live on my show. That's how much I'm sure that report is worthless.
There is an unacknowledged special access program called Immaculate Constellation, which is the...
Yeah, Immaculate Constipation is the name of the program. Somebody's really got to take a shit. And so it's Immaculate Constipation is the name of the program.
The parent program is the language used for exactly what you said: UAP, crash retrieval, reverse engineering, and apparently a very large database of high quality photographs, videos, infrared videos, apparently much more sophisticated documentation of many more UAP encounters than...
Yeah, so it turns out that this story is completely and totally fake. And we know that it's fake because members of Aero who had access to all SAPs, all special access projects, all unacknowledged special access project, they had access to any secret, top secret project, black project, whatever, said that there's no program name Immaculate Constipation. I mean, Constellation. And the person who pulled out the report at the hearing was Jeremy Corbell. Go look up Jeremy Corbell and all the fake stories that he's been caught peddling. He's a close second behind Ross Coulthart here, right? Coulthart. I think it's really fitting that Ross's last name is Coulthart. That's his name, Coulthart. He's in a cult. So essentially, Jeremy Corbell gives a fake report written by an anonymous source to Schellenberger, who runs with it, claiming it's all true. But this is the same guy that got caught selling a completely and totally fake story last year. You see the pattern? They get caught selling a fake story. They just go away for a little while. They hope you forget they got caught selling the fake story. It's called the Cosmic Con Shuffle. And then they come back with new fake stories. That's what he did. That's what they all do. And look at that. We've got Hardnose gifted a free membership. Thank you for your kindness. Praise the cash. That means we're at 26. We're more than halfway to the goal. And Bradley Frank got that one. And then we have Mr. Rock gifted one True Seekers membership. Thank you for your kindness. Praise the cash, Mr. Rock. And that one went to Danielle Ashley. Welcome, Danielle Ashley, to being a True Seekers YouTube member. We thank you for your kindness. And then we have Anna Louisa with a kind and generous $2 super chat. Thank you. Just sending hearts. I'm sending love back to you, Anna Louisa. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Me Padetta Tumba says, yeah, he's one of the people that isn't telling the truth about the aliens, so he wants himself to be tarred, feathered, and stoned. He won't say where the giant UFO so big it's under a building is. Yeah, good logic. I guess we got to tar and feather. And just to be clear, we as a show and I as a show host do not condone any forms of threatening, intimidation, or especially violence against anyone. Pinzer is here. Long time no see. What happened to you? I thought you fell off Earth. I haven't seen you in my live chat. Or I think that you got like some other show host crush going on and you haven't been here. You're hurting my feelings, right? George Crap is here and says, suffer, Sprank. Yes. And Arlene Atkinsell says, yo, Ross, get behind the Humvee. Yes, George Crap, have you heard of Project Serpo or Project Spank? Oh, absolutely. Cosmic Grifting. So we're at 27 YouTube channel memberships. We need 33 more or 23 more. We're at 27. 23 more. My math is terrible. I need a calculator for everything. All right, so what else do I have to share for you guys before we get to the main event? I'm sorry it's taking me so long, but it's so hard to get through all of this stuff. I just want to share this one before we go any further. This is a great post on X by Dr. Hugo Sacco, who says, "Isn't it amazing that Ross Coulthart, the superb investigative journalist, can F up time and time again? He claims UFO, we see Starlink satellites." Spoiler alert. Then there was the Area 51 patch, and the best is the hidden giant UFO. Ross, you are a cosmic clown. I can't say that I disagree with the sentiments here, and a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are waking up. All right, so we're gonna get to the gist of tonight, and I want to thank the average Chris at Aerotech_space, because he's the one that caught this before me, and I asked him to come on tonight, but he's very busy with holiday stuff, or hopefully we're going to have him next week. The average Chris is a great researcher and one of those blooming debunkers that Ross Coulthart hates so much. So, my friends, the latest fake story that Ross Coulthart has been caught peddling. You gotta love this one. And oh, by the way, in his documentary, he also promoted festival balloons from South America as being alien spaceships. Those were festival balloons. So, like a lot of these grifters, they take something like flares, balloons, or in this case, Starlink satellites and claim it's an alien invasion. So, we'll get to the meat of this. Ross Coulthart deletes his post claiming Starlink satellite train were UFOs over Lincoln Heath. In a quick turn of events from my post and others, like at Flarkey and at Real Area 503, Ross Coulthart has deleted his post in which he tried to claim a video taken by another ex-user were UFOs, claiming they were the drones reported over Lincoln Heath in the past couple of days. At the Warzone Wire and at Aviation Intel broke the news on those incursions. Chris says, "I would love to know how often Starlink satellite trains are often reported as UFO or UAP. Elon Musk, once again, it also speaks to the credibility of the investigative process of the so-called journalist, Ross Coulthart, who's also with News Nation." And here's the so he deleted his post, but here is the actual posts. Here is the actual post. Ross Coulthart has done it again. In this video of one of his latest posts, he retweeted a post from another user who recorded lights in the sky 15 minutes from Lincoln Heath, claiming that they were the drones that the Warzone broke the news about, infiltrating the airspace over the base. Turns out it was actually the Starlink 207 satellite train that the user recorded. User Flarkey actually confirms seeing this himself here. And I will get that and we'll go over that. A quick search for the Starlink system, and sure enough, it pops right up. And the time is 1 minute off from what Flaky mentions at the time he witnessed it fly over him. As I've stated in the post attached, Ross Coulthart consistently posts inverted claims and propaganda dating back to his time with 60 Minutes Australia. And Ross Coulthart felt it. Oh no, you did it again. Another fake story. Nothing to see here, folks. Just supposed drones operating with impunity adjacent to highly sensitive UK, US Air Force bases. We are meant to believe reassurances, absurdly, that this is not a national security issue. The real issue is why the cover-up. Mysterious objects seen over UK air bases, none brought down or recovered or clearly photographed, and yet they persist in calling them drones. Reminds me of the Gatwick drones incidents and the Langley Air Force and multiple U.S. events. Just drones, guys. Move on. Nothing to see here. And so, once again, he's conflating two events. At Flarkey, that was Starlink train pass at 5:21 p.m. I watched it from Norfolk. So, he got felted. He got felted because somebody actually used satellite tracking software and figured out, no, those weren't drones. No, those weren't drones. And those were not alien spaceships. And there is no cover-up. They have no reason to cover up alien spaceships when it's clearly not alien spaceships. But once again, yeah. Timings with good visibility. Here is the Starlink tracker confirming that at Flarkey's claims of Starlink, completely debunking Ross's absurd claim. Starlink, it was visible bright for 4 minutes. Look from west to east, elevation. It gives the exact time. And the Ferret says, you'd think with all the collaboration of serious journalists Ross Coulthart does with military insiders who are trained observers and all the time he himself has spent investigating this stuff, he'd have a sense for what satellites look like by now. Ryan says, I've had enough startling the average Ross parody account tomorrow. And Chris says, you should. Gotta love the beauty of screenshots. Yeah, so he deletes it. Now I am become death says, holy crap, this is an epidemic of journalists who get so caught up in their belief that they fail to do their jobs. In the last week or so, one after another of credible people shoot themselves in the foot. It's alarming to see in positions easily duped. Actually, Ross Coulthart and nonsensical disinformation go hand in hand. He is just a conceited and deluded idiot, says Francis Carrier, his pale Elizondum. You have to be very gullible to believe the pair. Plain Jane says, that's literally how it works, though, right? It's unidentified until it's identified. Oh, come on. Come on. And of course, there's stupid people defending him, right? Stupid people defending him. An average Chris just sent me another example of misinformation in the UFO community. So give me a moment and we'll share that one from the average Chris. This is another example. Christopher Millican has posted that the intrusions over Lackheath and presumably Langley are UAP, despite the United States Air Force clearly stating that they have been identified as drones and even labeling them as UAS or unmanned aerial systems. What people like Mellon are doing is purposefully using the statements that the drones are unidentified and pushing UAP propaganda to continue a threat narrative, but that's not what unidentified is referring to. Unidentified just means that they haven't determined or ready to release the origin of these drones to the public. But they have been identified as drones, not alien spacecraft, aka UFOs or UAP. There was a time when Mellon claimed I was sincerely confused how the world works. Well, according to Aviation Intel and the Warzone Wire, I actually do, and apparently far more than Mr. Mellon does. But there's a reason for people like Christopher Mellon to push the threat narrative and purposefully misinforming the public about details like UAP versus drones. He's working with and on multiple advisory boards in UAP-related organizations that are looking to gain access to funding from the Department of Defense or the U.S. government. He helped start To the Stars Academy with Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge. It failed. Yeah, they promised everybody a spaceship with a revolutionary power source that would change the world. Turns out that they didn't do any of that, but they just kept the money. They collected millions of dollars. He helped start the Soul Foundation with Gary Nolan. Gary Nolan, we showed you in the beginning of tonight's broadcast, was involved in the conclusive proof of alien technology fake story and hoax, which just finished up their event where they push for ideas to measure UAP phenomenon via tech and data, lobbying for endorsements. He's also an advisor to Safe Aerospace, which is lobbying for them to receive UAP reports from pilots in my opinion, Trojan horse-like attempt to backdoor the efforts of Aero and gain inside access to the DoD reporting of UAP. Uncertain Vector lobbied for as much in last year's UAP hearing, and here's how. You create a threat narrative, then claim you and a group of people who claim they are experts can help the government solve their UAP problem. Lobby for funding to help alleviate the threats, but also try to gain access to UAP cases that involve highly sensitive sensor platform. And boom, you have UFO activists gaining access to the inside where they have no business being, as they are not rational, logical, or objective thinking individuals. Next thing you know, we'll have an alien problem and disclosure will be coming. Meanwhile, our adversaries will be laughing at us. And here's Christopher Mellon, who's a goober. He's a goober. He's a wackadoo. I don't care. He's probably got more money than God, which begs the question, why is he on in and around and on or a member of all these organizations that are seeking money from the government. Couldn't he just fund it? Mellon banking family and all? I would think so. And when is Christopher Mellon going to give the millions of dollars that was defrauded from To the Stars Academy investors back their money? To my knowledge, nobody that invested in To the Stars Academy ever got a nickel of their money back. But he says, good to see that the DoD appears to be taking recent incidents of UAP intrusions over United States Air Force facilities in the UK seriously, and glad to see the press asking Ryder about it. Hopefully, they've obtained some serious data from these incidents and will have more to report later. Yeah, and he tells this researcher that they're sincerely confused because you don't understand how the world works. Christopher Mellon, you dumbass! Aren't you the guy that stood in front of a picture of a number one balloon? He stood in front of a picture of a number one balloon. You know, when your child turns 1 year old and you get that silver balloon that's a 1 and they fill it with helium. This dumbass who is busting on real, good, and serious researchers saying that they don't understand how the world works, stood in front of a goddamn picture of a balloon claiming it was an alien spaceship, right? Claiming it was an alien spaceship. And I apologize. I didn't have this on the screen while I was reading it. I got to get better at this software. Also, this Christopher Mellon, he took pictures with that Nazi girl, Marina Sarin, at an event. And he took questions and talked to a bona fide, real anti-Semitic Nazi girl who like Zeke Hiles and wears like Nazi outfits on her Instagram and was dilling her. She would dildo herself. He was hanging out with this girl, Marina Sarin. And for those unaware, Marina Sarin is like a girl that dresses up in hot Nazi outfits. And then she had an OnlyFans where she would dildo herself for $40 and say your name. Don't ask me how I know that, but I know that. And he's telling somebody they don't understand how the world works. This guy who's been involved in these multiple scams or scammy UAP, UFO organizations that, in my opinion, are just designed to defraud the public or the government out of money so that they can go chase ghosts, werewolves, spirits, poltergeists, aliens, maybe chase those alien space monsters that Dave Grusch says is murdering humans, right? It's so stupid. It's just so stupid. All right. Let me check in with my Twitter here, and it's important. I retweet all of this stuff, so if you want to go a little more in depth, or re-exit, I don't know. Is it Xing now instead of tweeting? At Stephen Cambion on X, formerly Twitter, right? Yeah, so I think we've covered what I wanted to cover. Oh, just another example that we can add to the list here of the numerous times that this clown, Ross Coulthart, has been caught selling, pushing, or selling a completely and totally fake UFO or UAP. All right, Bradley Frank, look at that. Well, before we do that, Tweeter Trash is here and says, Steven, what up? What up, Tweeter Trash? Good to see you. Great user ID. I like that. Tweeter Trash. Bradley, it's like trailer trash, but on the internet, right? Bradley Frank gifted 10 Truth Seekers memberships, and I'm going to say it again. Go hit the subscribe button, because if you're in the live chat and somebody gifts these memberships, it gets randomly distributed to people in the live chat who are subscribers, people who have hit that subscribe button, but not yet become a member. For those unaware, you get the same thing on Patreon, which is $1, that you get on YouTube, which is $5. But on YouTube, you get a little bit of extra goodies, like a member badge and some extra YouTube benefits. Scott Starbird got gifted a membership by Bradley Frank. Wendy Hill got gifted a membership. Wellness Wisdom, FAP got gifted a membership. Tatters got gifted a membership. John Doe got gifted a membership. Jilly's mom. Hey, Jilly's mom. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here. Wes Snipes. M. Nemesis was gifted a membership. And Ashley Fedden was gifted a membership. Mix Coyote says, I saw gonzos on those balloons. That was real evidence. It's just so stupid. It's just so childish and stupid. Like, oh, party balloon high in the sky. Yes, aren't journalists supposed to be unbiased observers? Yes, but I have to admit that I'm biased on the skeptical side. I will gladly look at anybody's evidence, but unfortunately, most people who swear to me they have all this evidence, they send me like pictures of flocks of birds or videos that are taken on a potato and claim that that's an alien spaceship, right? Mixed Coyote says, I haven't trusted any journalist in 20 years, to be fair. Yeah, I don't trust most journalists. NPR and PBS used to be fine. What the heck happened? Woke culture happened. That's what happened. They ruined journalism and good content creators with this wokeness and stupidity, right? Scott Starboard says, Wait, are you telling me that my To the Stars Academy degree is worthless? Next, you'll say my Stavati Aerospace GED is not valid. Yeah, pretty much. Dylan says, I've paid more for cameos as a joke. Oh, well, we thank you. Dylan says, say my name, bitch. Dylan, thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity and support. And for those keeping track, we are now up to 37 gifted memberships. So we need 13 more of you kind and generous people that will throw a gifted membership. That's 13 more. And then we'll go into overtime and do an Ask Me Anything. 1 second. I'm looking for a bumper here. I don't think I have it. Oh, yes, I do. All right. So one of the things I wanted to mention is that along with all of the fake stories that we talked about tonight, the incredibly, at least I don't want to call it a fake story, but the evidence-free story about Dave Grusch. Remember him, the former military intelligence insider who claimed that the government has alien spacecraft, that the government has alien biologics, which is a new word that they came up with because alien bodies sounds too wacky. Oh, we have alien biologics. Just say alien bodies, wackadoo. And Grusch also said, my favorite claim of his is that alien space monsters were murdering humans on Earth. I'm sorry, interdimensional space monsters. People always correct me, the true believers. He didn't say aliens, Stephen. He said interdimensional. All right, wackadoo. Like, listen, Mr. Wackadoo, is it really that different? Alien space monsters, interdimensional space monsters. Alien space monsters are murdering humans on Earth. Or interdimensional space monsters are murdering humans on Earth. He said they had spaceships. So even if they're interdimensional, aren't they also aliens? I would think so. I don't know. I don't know how this wackadoo shit works. You people are all crazy. So besides all the fake stories that we shared with you tonight, Ross Coulthart is largely responsible for promoting the completely and totally evidence-free stories of David Grusch. And by the way, they made millions of dollars in monetized views pushing Dave Grusch's evidence-free sensational claims. Never proved any of their claims. They kept saying that more evidence was going to come out to confirm Dave Grusch was telling the truth. It never did, and it never will. Because Dave Grusch was a mental patient. And he's also, I'm told, or by his own admission, he's autistic. But a source who worked with him told me that he's not just autistic, he's severely autistic. He's high-functioning, severely autistic. And by the way, I have a nonverbal autistic son. People almost crucified me when I said that Dave Grusch was manipulated into the role of fake whistleblower by these goobers that wanted to make money selling a fantastic, sensational story, and they needed some idiot to sit in the chair and repeat their shit. And I think that they manipulated Dave Grusch into the story. And like I said, Ross Coulthart purposefully misconstrued things. He played fast and loose with the facts. Oh, the Intelligence Community Inspector General said his claims of retaliation and his complaint was urgent and credible and would be investigated. Ross Coulthart ran with that and pretended that the Intelligence Community Inspector General was talking about his alien and UFO claims. And for like a year, all we heard is urgent and credible, urgent and credible. Intelligence community said his claims are urgent and credible, Stephen. And people argued with me and argued with me and argued with me. But as of just a few weeks ago, you can contact the Intelligence Community Inspector General. They don't really respond well to telephone calls, but you can email them. Ask them if they have investigated any of the claims that Dave Grusch made to Ross Coulthart or to Leslie Kean or anybody else that he did podcasts with. Ask the Intelligence Community Inspector General if they are investigating his claims about alien crash retrievals, alien spaceships in the possession of the United States government, alien reverse engineering programs, alien biologic, or, I'll say it right this time, interdimensional space monsters murdering humans on Earth. Go ask the Intelligence Community Inspector General, what's the status of that investigation? And what you'll find out if you actually speak to anybody at that office is they're not investigating any of that shit. All they're investigating is his claims of being retaliated against or whatever. Claims of waste, fraud, and abuse and retaliation. That's what they do there. They don't investigate aliens. They don't investigate alien space monsters, interdimensional murdering monsters, alien biologics, alien spaceships, alien crash retrievals, alien spaceships or interdimensional spaceships in the possession of the United States government, secret programs to reverse engineer alien technology. They don't investigate any of that shit. And we can thank Ross Coulthart for jamming this fake Dave Grusch story down our throat. And I'm here to ask Ross Coulthart, where the hell is the follow-up? You said he was telling the truth, you asshole. Where's the evidence? Because since Dave Grusch has come out with his story, it has now been 540 days. And again, it's important to recognize and understand that these guys have made millions of dollars. Millions of dollars, and I mean collectively, all the people who promoted and profited from the Dave Grusch story, it's in the tune of millions of dollars in ad revenue. We want to take a moment to thank ET, who just became a member. Now we're up to 38, and then we're 39. ET gifted a membership. Thank you. Praise the cash. And Bobby Broadway was gifted the membership. Longtime show supporter. Come on, Bobby. I thought you were already a YouTube channel member. 40. We're up to 40. Thank you. Mix Coyote? Coyote? I don't know how to say that. You're going to have to tell me. Mix Coyote, I think. Gifted One True Seekers membership. Thank you for praising the cash. And Ark Duke got that one. Are we up to 40 or 41? And High Speed Chase just gifted 5. I think we're up to 45. Thank you, High Speed Chase. And now we have Sono Mario was gifted a membership by High Speed Chase. 1910 was gifted a membership. We've got Rerun was gifted a membership. Do you remember Rerun from What's Happening? I love that shit growing up. Fire 3 Norm is now a Praise the Cash member thanks to High Speed Chase. We've got Lily Anna. We need just 5 more gifted memberships in order to go into overtime, friends. The lazy ass gamer is here and says, it pisses me off when people use people with disabilities for their own gain. Oh, you got to know. So same to me, right? That's really, really great news for all of us. Green transdimensional shitposting specters from hell. We are not under investigation, boys. God bless the goal, says Dylan. Can we hit it? And oh, Bradley Frank, yes! Praise the cash, bitches! Bradley Frank gifted 5 memberships, meaning we hit our goal of 50 gifted memberships. ACH was gifted a membership by Bradley Frank. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support, Bradley Frank. Bradley Frank got us over the goal line. All right. And we have Snacks became a Praise the Cash member thanks to Bradley Frank. And Jan Skaggs became a Praise the Cash member. Kate Areta became a Praise the Cash member. Thank you to Bradley Frank. And we have DJ D's was gifted a membership thanks to Bradley Frank. And again, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, but you might get a free membership from one of these kind and generous people. So I have a bit more to share with you, but I want to make sure that we put this on the record. Ross Coulthart is responsible for this Dave Grusch sensationalized story in which millions of dollars was generated in ad revenue. And Dave Grusch has provided exactly zero evidence so far. But what we do know is that the reporting of Stephen Greenstreet is more than likely correct. It's all one big circle jerk. And the same assholes involved with Skinwalker Ranch and promoting those evidence-free claims, and the same assholes like Lou Elizondo, who, according to Brian Bender, groomed Dave Grusch for his role as a whistleblower, the same people like Hal Puthoff, Eric Davis, the same core group of these same people that have been promoting and profiting from these evidence-free stories for decades is likely behind Dave Grusch. And Ross Coulthart was right there to get his piece of the money with the urgent and credible lie. The urgent and credible lie has fallen apart because the intelligence community inspector general is not investigating any of Dave Grusch's alien claims and did not call any of his alien claims urgent and credible. I want to take a moment to thank a kind and generous user who gave me the timestamp to this rant. People love rants, and here's my rant on Ross Coulthart lying through his teeth to sell an evidence-free story with this urgent and credible lie. This is a few minutes long, and when I return, we will be taking your comments and questions, and we're going to be doing an Ask Me Anything for the overtime tonight. So get your questions and comments ready for me. Please put them in all capital letters. For those unaware, I happen to be visually impaired, and it really, really does help if you put your comment or question you want me to share on the screen and talk about on the show live, put it in all capital letters. It really, really does help. So I'm going to play this rant of mine about the urgent and credible lie. And in the rant, I say it's been 233 days since this lie. Well, now, friends, it has now been 540 days. So just keep that in mind. This is a rant from some time ago. It's not 233 days or whatever I say in this bumper. It's 540 days, Ross Coulthart, you dumbass. Where's the evidence? You went on national television and said that this guy was credible and he was telling the truth. Of course, he also asked him if he had any mental problems, and Dave Grusch said no. Turns out that was a lie, because Dave Grusch is a former mental patient. I think if you're running around saying that alien interdimensional, God damn it, if you're running around saying interdimensional space monsters are murdering humans on Earth, and people are trying to determine if you're credible or not, I think the knowledge that you're a former mental patient might be important to the story. But of course, Ross Coulthart left the part about him being a mental patient and an alcoholic out of the story. Isn't that great? So the urgent and credible lie falls apart. We'll be back. The show is not over. Don't go anywhere. I just want to include this rant so we can put on the record that Ross Coulthart lies constantly and uses deceptive editing and tactics to sell fake stories. Now, I just want to go over some other things, like the urgent and credible lie. Would you believe people are still sending me idiotic, stupid messages like, well, Stephen, the intelligence community inspector general found Dave Grusch's alien and UFO claims to be urgent and credible? No, that never happened. Show me a quote, because I've been on the phone with that office. I've got somebody there. And they explained that the urgent and credible came from them calling Mr. Grusch's complaint urgent and credible. But they find every complaint somebody files with their office to be urgent and credible. And what they were referencing was his complaint of reprisals, which they consider urgent and credible. And they will investigate his complaints of reprisals. Now, here's where we get into more lies. This urgent and credible lie has been going around for 232 days. So I challenge any of you stupid people. You get on the phone. You send emails. And you confirm that the intelligence community inspector general of the United States confirms that Dave Grusch's claims of aliens, alien crash retrievals, alien biologics. Go get the intelligence community inspector general to confirm that he said
Mr. Grusch's claims concerning aliens, non-human biologics, non-human entities, alien crash retrievals, alien spaceships in the possession of the United States government are, quote, urgent and credible, unquote. Go find me that quote. Go get that quote. I'll wait. I'll wait. We're going to be waiting a long time because they never said that. And in fact, it's very clear from a statement they released, they are not investigating any of Dave Grusch's alien claims, alien crash retrieval claims, alien spaceship claims, crash retrieval body claims, biologic claims, interdimensional claims, UFO crash claims. They are investigating none of that. None. And I challenge anyone to prove me wrong. You see, what we have here is a conflation of events, and that's how these stories work. You take two separate events, like, I don't know, Mr. Grusch filing a complaint with the Inspector General of the intelligence community, and them saying, yes, we find his complaint urgent and credible. Somehow that gets conflated into the intelligence community Inspector General said his alien claims are urgent and credible. It never happened. That's a conflation of two separate events. And I'm tired of you stupid people. I don't have time to argue with you. If you're dumb enough, and by the way, let's get on this for a second. If you're actually stupid enough to just repeat the unproven lies and claims from the people selling this story, all of which, or most of which, at the very least, have been caught selling completely and totally fake stories for money before, if you're dumb enough to just repeat what they said and you don't actually get on the phone, get on your email, and try to verify that claim before repeating it, then you're an idiot and you're part of the problem. All these stupid people in this echo chamber just keep repeating lies over and over and over again. Urgent and credible is a lie. Prove me wrong, you dumb dickheads. I'll wait. Prove me wrong. You can't and you won't. But you know what you will do? You will annoy the shit out of me in my inbox with your nasty messages for hours a day. Right? Telling me urgent and credible, urgent and credible. He wasn't talking about Grusch's alien claims, crash retrieval claims, or any of that. The intelligence community Inspector General takes serious and considers every complaint filed with its office to be urgent and credible. And they investigate those allegations of reprisals when they come in. So the urgent and credible lie falls apart. What other evidence do you have that Grusch isn't just telling stories? Well, somebody else on Twitter, the intelligence community Inspector General, quote, verified his claims before he testified before Congress. No. The intelligence community Inspector General has zero responsibility to vet, fact check, investigate anyone's claims before they testify anywhere. That has nothing to do with it. No, the intelligence community Inspector General does not and did not verify any of Grusch's claims. So there we have it, the urgent and credible lie that Ross Coulthart and everybody else pushing that completely evidence-free story for a year or more, it all falls apart under scrutiny. And that's one thing that you'll notice with these stories, that the stories fall apart. We want to thank Scott Starboard with a kind and generous $5 super chat. Says, God bless you and Bradley Frank. I think he was one of the people that got a membership. Way to pay it forward. And, you know, all you people that got a free membership are free to throw $5 in our hat and pay it forward. Just saying. Stephen, what are your thoughts on MUFON? Here's what I'll say. I know a few very, very good people that either were members of MUFON or continue to be members of MUFON hoping for reform. But given that their international director was busted for trying to bang what he thought was a 13-year-old girl, I think that organization is trash. And then after that, they replaced him as the director with a new director whose business is taking people up in an airplane so they can bang. That's right. They replaced a child predator, now convicted child predator, with a guy who has a Mile High Club. You know, he's a pilot, and for a little bit of money,
You could take your girlfriend or your wife up in an airplane and he'll let you bang in his airplane. I think MUFON is trash, and there's various examples of why I think that. But I have to preface that by saying there are good people in MUFON, along with but the people who run it are trash. How about that? Arlene Atkins says, Stephen, rants are epic. Thank you. Michael Padilla, where's the beef? Damn it. I think you mean the bison steak? Still in my freezer. We'll do it on we'll do it. We will do it. Dylan says I'd have a beer with him though. Tweeter Trash says, Steven understands me. I'm half blind and typing in all caps helps me see my phone's keyboard. Caps help immensely. Well, they help me to quickly identify what people, the comments that people want me to share. Unfortunately, as we become a bigger and bigger show, it's really hard to read every single one of the comments, but I try my best. Stephen, do you think the video game Faith has some real life application? The video game Faith has some real life application, demons, exorcisms. Well, I'm working on a piece on demons and exorcisms. So, and I will tell you this, I'm more apt to believe in demons and exorcism than I am, because there's more evidence for it, than I am to believe in aliens. Some people may disagree with me, but wait till you see my full report before you make up your mind. Thanks for the question. Eric Jimenez says, so any of the former Area 51 workers' stories are real. If I had to pick one verified person that worked at Area 51 who told some stories about really strange technology that I think are true, it would be Edgar Fouché, who is actually the originator of all the TR3B information that we have. Me Padota Tumba says, get him, Stephen, let's go. People love the rants, so I found some more. Stephen, who was felt it the most by you, financially, ego, internet grifting wise? Well, probably Corey Good, because after we were done releasing those depositions, his grift is in the trash right now. That guy used to get hundreds of thousands of views on all his videos. And right now, my show and my channel is beating his daily views, at least the last time I checked on Social Blade. And thousands of people used to show up to hear that guy give speeches at paid events. He's not welcome at any of the UFO conventions anymore. And by the way, I'm talking about Corey Good, the secret space astronaut. He's never been to space. He lied to everybody for years, and he admitted it under oath. And I think our publishing of those depositions really, really, really destroyed his grift. If there was one person who I could say we really destroyed their grift, two, Corey Good and Anjali. Our investigation into the Anjali story destroyed her grift. She was on track to be a huge superstar in the world of aliens and UFOs, and our investigation revealed that she lied about her entire original story, so it pretty much destroyed her grift. Michael Padilla, longtime show supporter, is here and says, Stephen, I'm going to have to ask you to calm down. Okay. Yeah, Arlene Atkins says, good luck with that, right? Tweeter Trash says, this is goddamn epic. Well, glad you enjoyed it. Do you know about Mel's Hole? Yes, and I have a folder of Mel's Hole information. We're going to be doing a whole show on Mel's Hole. What are your opinions on it? You're going to have to wait and see the show. I'm going to produce an entire show on Mel's Hole. I get a lot of requests. By the way, you're free to request. You can email me at truthseekershow@gmail.com. If there's a certain subject you want to see, if I will cover, but I do ask you, please check. I know it's tough on a phone, but on a desktop, if you go to our main YouTube channel and you hit that little magnifying glass, you can put in Mel's Hole and see if we ever covered it. A lot of people ask me, what do you think of this? And I've already covered it, and it's covered in a whole show. Stephen, now you got to do a celebration dance. I might just do that when we're talking about the amount of support. Praise the cash. I'll do this for you. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank the AI YouTube algorithms for bringing me all of these kind and generous benefactors that helped me to praise the cash tonight, bitches. Praise it. I don't really dance much, Arlene Atkinzel. Do you know I've been with my wife for decades, and I don't believe we've ever really danced, unless you count me kind of dancing around a cage she was dancing in during a show. But that's a story for another time, Arlene Atkins. Do you ever hear? Oh, now here we go. Before anybody, wait a minute. Rumor control. Last time I mentioned my wife dancing in a cage, some dickhead show host that didn't like me said that I married a stripper. This is not the case. My wife was never a stripper, though she did dance in let's just say, theatrical show. Is that okay? Fully clothed, right? Mostly clothed. Let's leave it at mostly clothed. Did you ever hear Coast to Coast AM with The Exorcist on it? Yes, Father Malachi. I'm a big fan of Father Malachi, actually. I have his books. And I probably have somewhere that specific episode of the Art Bell Show, the interviews with Father Malachi. Kevin Alt says, how's the anger management classes going? They're going terrible. Stop asking me about them, you asshole. All right. Mel's whole show. Awesome. Yes. So questions or comments for me, please put them in all capital letters. Richard Harris says her name is Anjali. Her name is Angelina. Anjali was her like alien contactee name that she came up with to sell her bullshit story better. Have you ever heard of Eldora and Simon? They're like the 7-Eleven brand David Wilcock Beth. He even has hand-drawn slides he holds up. Oh, I'm going to check into that. I'm not familiar with them, but I will write that down and I will check into them. We always need people for Wackadoo of the Week shows. By the way, Lily Ann, we used to do this thing called the Wackadoo of the Week, or if it's two of them, we'll just make it the Wackadoos of the Week, where we find people that are like crystal hippie bitches that are psychic or something, or super soldiers, or like targeted individuals. Just if you find somebody that's got videos where they're just totally crazy, saying totally crazy shit, email those to me at truthseekershow@gmail.com. It really, really does help, because that's how I find the wackadoos, and we do something called the Wackadoo of the Week sometimes. Call it the Weekadoo. Yes. Yes. Patty says, I like Malachi Martin. He was a brave man. I believe so too. And Dylan says, praise the cash. God bless the goal. Respect the rant. Yeah, thank you guys. And by the way, I totally I never had a goal in my life. And then, see, you learn things. So that's why it's good to go be a guest on other shows. I learned from Kino Casino. They have a goal every time they do a show of so many gifted subs. Same thing as gifted memberships here. So we're going to try to do that. We're going to try to have those goals, and then we'll do the overtime. So you can ask me anything right now. Take advantage of it. Stormcrow says, speaking of strippers, Trixie bumpers when? Well, listen, I know it's not your problem or concern, but we had some problems migrating all of our bumpers from our old software, and now they are holding my bumpers hostage. So I got to pay them $50 so that I can get all my old bumpers back. Either that, or I have to go through scrubbing hundreds of old shows trying to collect them all up, which is going to be a nightmare. I anticipate this weekend, if I don't go to the cabin, I will be doing that. So sometime soon, we'll have the Trixie bumpers and everything else back. So questions or comments for me, you can ask me anything. That's what you get for helping us to hit the goal. Put them in all capital letters. Mixed Coyote says, I believe they put a goat in Mel's second hole, and a tumor came out of the goat, and a telepathic seal came out of the tumor. I don't know about that. If you had to pretend to be a grifter, what would be your grift? Well, Bradley Frank, you're going to get to find out. I've been talking about this for quite some time now. We're going to do something here called Grift Month, where I'm going to become a UFO alien grifter for 1 month, and then we're going to track how much money we made being a grifter. But then at the end of it, we're going to be honest and show everybody where all of the stuff came from, how it was faked, how it was hoaxed, how it was created, whatever methods we used, and we're going to reveal all of that after we make some money. And then I figure that my audience will forgive me. Like, what if I could make the whole show's budget for the year just being a grifter for 1 month? I think that we have a pretty good shot, and we might be able to do it. Can we hit that goal? We actually did hit it. The goal was 50 gifted memberships, and we have hit it. So we're into overtime now. And quite honestly, we don't have a usual show length. I try to keep them under 2 hours, but those Wilcox shows and some of those other shows, they go 3-4 hours, right? Stephen, what are your thoughts on Giorgio Tsoukalos, the guy with the weird? My wife calls him the hair guy. I think he's as credible as a crackhead asking you for money to get home, for bus fare. He's just not credible. Ancient Aliens has been incredibly and totally debunked. It's all based on mistranslated stuff from ancient Sumeria mostly, and Zechariah Sitchin was not a linguist. He couldn't speak ancient Sumerian, let alone translate it, right? Spirengard says, what do you think about CERN hoax and human sacrifice a few years ago? Thoughts? It's really creepy. And some of the stuff, like, they have that, the Indian god that's the destroyer of worlds is a statue outside of CERN. There's a lot of creepy stuff with CERN. And if you like, we'll do an entire show on CERN conspiracies and try to get to the truth about them. John Wolfe covered YouTube channel grifters like Nuke Top 5 editing in sound effects as paranormal activity. You should check out some of these claims the channels are making. I will do that. Thank you for letting me know. Question, have you done any digging into Les Stroud and Todd Standing? Yeah. Todd Standing is a Bigfoot grifter. If you look in our free documentary section, Andrew Valentine, there's a free documentary all about Les Stroud and Todd Standing. And it's called Is This the Face of Bigfoot? It's a completely and totally free documentary we produced over a long period of time. We talked to a bunch of experts, had a bunch of experts look into the claims. Like I had special effects experts look at all his evidence, and they all came back. Every single person I had look at those, including an expert cryptozoologist, magicians, special effects people, they all came back and said, this is fake as shit. So take from that what you will. Moody Mongol is here. Long time. Not to put you on the spot, but what exotic things, if any, do you think might be behind the UFO phenomenon? Well, could be angels, could be demons, could be top secret government technology. At the bottom of my list for what is the source of many of the most mysterious UFO sightings is aliens. I just don't think there's the evidence there for that. E.T. with a kind and generous $2 super chat. Thank you for helping us to praise the cash. Have you read Dave Marler's book, Triangular UFOs? Yes, I have, but not for some time. I probably read it a few years ago. But we're going to start doing book reviews, so maybe we'll include that one. Can you read my deadpan? Stephen, do you disavow Keno Casino for the unforgivable scandal of going to Vegas with fans and partying hard over a year ago? Disavow them. God bless the grifters. I totally care about their scandal. No, I didn't even know that they did that. I would totally be down if my wife would let me out of the house for a few days or a week. That's a long haul to make. It's about an 8-hour flight from where I am to Vegas. But to hang out with those guys in person, I might actually do it. That makes me like them more. We should do something like that. But maybe we'll do Atlantic City because I could drive to Atlantic City. You should pick a random person from Gaia every week to felt at True Seekers. Good idea. That's actually a good idea. I'll put on my list. Would you want to do a react show featuring hoax breakdowns or creepypastas? Yeah, I'd be down to do that. Absolutely. What are your thoughts on Falcon Lake incident, famous UFO sighting at Falcon Lake, Manitoba, Canada in May 1967? That one, Frederick Gagnon, I hope I'm saying that right. That one's still in my gray basket and still one to be explored. In case you're not familiar with how we do things here, Frederick Gagnon, I try to not give an opinion. I will usually default to saying gray basket if I've looked into a story, but not balls to the wall, down to the mat, investigated every part of it. Before I say this is a hoax or this is fake, I like to make sure that we really, really have overwhelming evidence. And on this Falcon Lake incident, I have not done all of the required work and research and put the effort in to say whether it was a real sighting, a fake sighting, or what it was. So we default to our gray basket. Channel says gray basket. Stanton Friedman lives in you. I knew him actually. There's an interview of Stanton Friedman here on our channel. Just search Stanton Friedman on our channel. I miss him. He was a great person. And though we disagreed on many, many things, he truly was one of those guys that was looking for the truth and just trying to solve a mystery for himself, you know? And the fact that a nuclear physicist really believed that aliens were visiting Earth was kind of an early convincer for me. Is Atlantic City worth visiting? Well, I mean, you get to see the ocean, but it's kind of gray and too cold to swim in and shitty and oil slicked. And there's some casinos there. There's some good strip clubs, as I recall. I can't tell you how many of my male friends have had strip club, like bachelor parties, because I don't know if it still is, but back in the day where I was going to a lot of bachelor parties and all my friends were getting married, full nudity was totally legal in Atlantic City. So guys would have their bachelor parties there. There's some great Chinese food restaurants there as well. If you like to gamble, there's some pretty good casinos, I guess, but not very much else to see. Oh, I hope Joe Dispenza makes the to be felt it list. Gabberbeast is here with the longest chat message I've ever seen here. Quits says, saw it last night. It was great. Great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Stanton didn't deserve that backlash from the UPN alien abduction movie. No. Yeah, I think you're right. E.T. with a kind and generous $5 super chat. Any chance of Royce Myers showing up as a guest? I know you've tried, but can you continue to pursue or need help? Here's what I tell people. I always try twice. If you want me to try two more, I will. The problem with getting guests here sometimes, ET, is that we have a reputation for being very, very skeptical. And so some guests think that we're going to felt them, or we're going to be nasty to them, or we're going to argue with them or call them frauds or whatever. We're always very, very kind to our guests. So if you have a contact, tell them that we'll be respectful, but have a lot of questions for him. I'd be happy to interview him here. On the subject of demons, Aleister Crowley claimed to have summoned a demon and drew a picture of it that resembled a gray alien prior to becoming a cultural icon. Yes, I'm very, very familiar with that. And that's one of those things on my list for a show as well. It is very weird that he claimed that he summoned a being that was an interdimensional being that looks suspiciously like the modern gray alien. It's very, very interesting. But what you also have to remember about Aleister Crowley is that those guys used to drink and do a lot of drugs when they did their rituals. So who's to say it wasn't just a hallucinogen that conjured up the image of that? But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Is it Lull or I can't remember the name of that entity. If anybody remembers the name of the extraterrestrial entity that Aleister Crowley claims that he summoned, or interdimensional entity, it looks suspiciously like a gray. The name escapes me. I'm blanking out. I grew up in a town where dancers were nothing but a smile. Sounds like good times, Dylan. Have you seen any mysterious letters, lights at night you couldn't explain? Yes, at times I have, but like at the cabin, it's very, very high altitude. I don't recall offhand, but my cabin is a mile from the highest altitude in all of Pennsylvania. Basically, we're right up on a mountain. And so because of that high elevation and the winds that blow through that mountain that gives us very clear skies at times, I see all kinds of crazy shit lights in the sky at the cabin. But I try to not get too excited, and I have learned, having been having that cabin for 4 or 5 years now, I have learned that I have to do multiple things. I have to look up stellarium. Well, first I use a satellite tracking program so that I can eliminate, okay, that's light in the sky that we're seeing. That's not a satellite. 9 times out of 10, it's a satellite. We've seen the Starlink trains. We've seen all kinds of iridium flare satellites, all kinds of weird things because we're so high up in the sky there. We get a better view, even with the naked eye, than most people will get of the nighttime sky. Then I also have to use something called Flight Radar 24 because there happens to be a Pocono, I think it's called a Pocono Airway. There's an airport like 8 miles from my cabin. So we see a lot of lights in the sky that turn out to be just aircraft. And sometimes the blinking lights don't look like FAA lights to me. So I think it's something weird or extraordinary. And then it turns out to be regular flight. You can check that with Flight Radar 24. So it's important to eliminate prosaic explanations like satellites or unidentified aircraft first. And then the most recent thing I saw, Bradley Frank, is we saw this big light in the sky, and it was right over my cabin. In fact, I have some pictures on my phone. I'll post it on my Twitter or X at Stephen Cambion, and you can take a look. Saw this big, beautiful light over the cabin, and I was sure that it was moving very, very slowly, but I was sure that it was moving. We tried the satellite tracker. It's not a satellite. We tried the flight radar. It's not an aircraft. Holy shit. This may be my first genuine UFO sighting here at the cabin. And again, we see these weird lights in the sky all the time. They turn out to be something ordinary. But my neighbor, after we checked the flight radar and the satellite tracking, and it wasn't those things, he said, I think that's a planet. And I go, no, it can't be a planet. So we loaded up something called stellarium, and we found out that we were seeing Jupiter. And it just so happened to be reflecting beautifully in the night sky, and it looked like a huge pulsating light, maybe because of the atmospheric conditions. In any case, yeah, we see a lot of strange stuff, but I have yet to see proof of aliens in the nighttime sky. Oh no, we're getting full new Truth Seeker show. I don't know. It'll either drive down the viewers or drive them through the roof. Yeah, I don't think so. True researchers get a backlash, but grifters get followers and money. Makes no sense. So it's Arlene Atkins, right? Gabberbeast says, hey, Stephen, good to see you're doing well. Have you tried David Wilcock's new home remedy for gaining special powers? He said that we need to have baths in our own urine. Yeah, I don't. Oh, man. I don't. Yeah, he's P-Man. Did you know that? David Wilcock is P-Man. I have something for that. I know you did a video for P-Man, but so did we. Well, one of our viewers did a P-Man. It's really. There's a P-Man bumper here somewhere. Hopefully, I'll be able to find it. Oh, I got it. Just give me a moment, and we'll see. For those unaware, we've been felting David Wilcock for a long time, and David Wilcock told his followers that the Archangel Michael told him to take a bath in his own piss in order to get superpowers. And and so people are really making fun of that, and I can't say that I blame people for making fun of that because David Wilcock is now the P-Man. Here you go, Gabber Beast. This is just for you, David Wilcock, the P-Man.
You urinate before you get into the bathtub, be in the bathtub every day for like a half an hour. It was a heavy metal detox, and so it creates a telepathic transmedium effect in the water. Ha 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 ha. He bathed in his pee-pee.
So there we have it, Gabber Beast. The P-Man is here, right? And I'll try to catch up with these questions or comments. Dylan says, fully new truth-seeking Vegas trip 2025. Ugh. Gay man, what a great user ID with a kind and generous $15 super chat. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Says you're the man, Stephen. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us. Can you get a signed picture of the real alien from Linda Moulton Howe? If I'm ever at a UFO convention where she's speaking, I'm taking my Area 51 video game and I'm going to have her sign it. Any thoughts on gray aliens being similar to archons from Gnosticism? Yeah, that's something to explore. There's a great many people who spend decades of their lives looking for the nuts and bolts and trying to study the UFO phenomenon and aliens and get to the truth. And what many, many people, including Jacques Vallée and others, regardless of what I think of Jacques Vallée, have come away with is that maybe the phenomenon is more spiritual or interdimensional in nature and not so physical. So that's something to explore. Moody Mongol says David did get superpowers after he bathed in pee-pee. No one would go near him. Too musky. Yeah. Channel thinks that's a sock account of riches. No, he would never super chat me. He's cheap and he's poor. YouTube Rabbit Hole is here and says, sometimes I go to Wilcox's YouTube page to troll in the comment section, but then I read the comments and just get depressed. Yeah, welcome to my world, right? Yeah, absolutely. And now is another good time to remind you, if you haven't already, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm supposed to do this 3 or 4 times a show. I'm supposed to remind you, if you haven't already, that number one, we're a viewer-supported show, and we do things for the public benefit. Like we have a free documentary section. I've got to add one to it. I think we're going to have 4 now, 4 free documentaries right on our channel. They're, of course, they're ad-supported, but they're free. Anybody can watch them, whether you're a member or a Patreon supporter or not. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and help us grow. That tells the YouTube algorithm that we are doing very good content here, content people want to see and come back for. And by the way, every day I say a prayer. Praise the AI YouTube algorithm gods. Please find favor in us and let more people smash the subscribe button. And if they haven't already, make them hit that like button so that you find favor in us, oh AI algorithm god of YouTube. Praise the AI algorithm god. Amen. My life is in the hands of a YouTube AI algorithm, and you can help that YouTube algorithm like us by liking, comment, subscribing, sharing these videos. And also, the biggest thing you could do if you haven't already is subscribe to our channel. But if you've already subscribed to our channel, then take our channel address or a video from us and send it to 10 friends. Send it to your grandmom, send it to your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your weird neighbor, somebody that you think would enjoy our content, and ask them to subscribe. It really, really does help, friends. All right. Goulet, I think that's how you say that, is here and says, Stephen, that would be epic if you got Linda to sign that. She would only do it if she didn't look at what it was, though, right? So in Muslim theology, they believe that the genies live in a dimensional parallel to ours. Sounds a lot like alien, ghost, shadow, person stories. I've got a show on the jinn to go along with our show on demons that I hope to get to soon. Don't forget to tell everybody to click on the stream. Here from the casino, I love your content. Keep up the fantastic work. I love your aesthetic. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us. And if you haven't already and you have a Kick account, by the way, I'm supposed to go over there and show the Kick channels. We've got a bunch of people in here now. I'm just going to say hello, Kick friends, and thanks for being here. And for those unaware, all of the comments aggregate. So no matter where you're chatting, if we're doing a live stream and there's a live chat, I do see your messages. But we want to welcome all of you new Kick friends. We've got 24 viewers on Kick. That's something else. It's nice to see. I like to see that. We're brand new on Kick. And so far, of all of the alternative video channels that we have tried so far, Kick has been the most successful. We've already got 411 followers over there. There's 25 people in the Kick live chat. So if you're a content creator, I highly recommend Kick so far. I don't believe we've made any money over there, but I got to do some work over there. But thank you, Sarah, for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. And thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Thanks for appreciating us. We certainly appreciate you. Arlene Atkins says, I'm telling you, Ross's huge ship is in David Wilcock's forehead. A likely story, right? Okay, says this channel didn't show up when I searched the search bar originally. Thankfully, Andy posted a link when he wasn't hiding in shame from the scandal of partying in Vegas with friends. God bless Andy and PPP and the Keno Casino. Those guys are great guys. And yeah, there's two things you could do. If you're searching for our channel here, there's two things that you could do. Either search for truth seekers or truth seeker, one truth seeker, and then the word show. Because on some places like Kick, truth seekers was taken. So I had to use truth seeker show over there. And I think the same goes for Rumble and a couple of the other places. Our Odyssey channel. Is anybody still on Odyssey? Does anybody watch anything on Odyssey? I don't know. I think that one kind of died. And we used to be on pill.net. I've been thinking, let me know what you think in the comments. We used to have something that I called TDN, Truth Seekers Distribution Network. And we were just on everything. Like we were on Rumble, Odyssey, pill.net. We were on BitChute. I would upload the videos after the show. Because at the time, I think BitChute still didn't allow live streaming. We tried DLive. That worked like shit. But we might put that network back together and start pushing the show out to more distribution points. The problem is it takes time and energy to keep that going and to keep doing that. And the only platforms we've ever made any money on are YouTube, and that's about it. YouTube and Patreon. All these alternate channels, we didn't make any money. Oh, Twitch, we made a little bit of money. For those unaware, on Twitch, if you have a Prime membership, you could gift a subscriber. You could gift us and become a subscriber for free. It's included in your Truth Seekers, or excuse me, it's included in your Prime membership, right? Moody Mongol says, Star Destroyers have been known to use the skin folds of Wilcock's forehead to evade the enemy. Yeah, that's how big his head is. Yeah, Arlene Atkins says, I'm still on Odyssey, but it is a bit dead. Yeah, I had high hopes for them. I hope they pull it out. Dylan says, I go where the content is. Well, for most people, that's YouTube. But I'm glad to see Kick and other sites doing well. I know I have friends that are Twitch streamers and doing very, very well. But you got to, we get 2 or 3 live viewers there because people are going there to see hot chicks play video games. They're not going there to see a talk show like we do. But we're trying, right? We're trying. Al Garay is always over there. What are you going to do when I cut that feed? You're going to have to come to YouTube. Al Garay is always over in the Twitch chat, holding down the Twitch chat. But we're glad you're there. We really are. Yeah. So what can I say, friends? I think that we have done our due diligence. Tonight, we have educated people on the garbage peddling shit peddler that is Ross Coulthart. He has been caught selling fake story after story after story after story. And my prediction is he's not going anywhere. He's going to be a fixture selling fake UFO and alien stories for the next 10 years because it's easy money. And he doesn't have to actually do any work. Somebody comes to him and says, hey, this patch is from Area 51 Alien Project. And he just goes, okay, let's run with that. Somebody comes to him and say, oh, and by the way, that ball valve, that ball in the conclusive proof of alien technology, turns out that's a ball, an industrial ball valve. That's what that is. I can't prove that 100%, but many experts have chimed in and said that's what that is. And by the way, I used to have a roommate that worked for a company that made those things and huge room-sized ball bearings. And I think even he would agree with me that that's a big industrial ball bearing or it's a ball valve. It's not an alien drone mothership or any shit like that. Ross Coulthart is just ridiculous. And, he's got a podcast called Need to Know. And what you need to know is that him and his shithead partner, Bryce Zabel, Zeeble, whatever, what the hell, man? He's got a partner, Bryce Zabel, I think is how you say his name. And that guy's a garbage peddling shit peddler as well. And what you need to know about their podcast is they sell fake shit. They've been caught pushing fake shit over and over and over again. That's what you need to know. And what you need to know about Ross Coulthart is he is a bottom-feeding scumbag that is willing to do anything to sell a sensational story, including accuse people of being child predators and SAs, SAing children. He literally accused people of SAing children by name, and he had no evidence. That's what he's willing to do to sell a story. So is it any surprise that he's willing to play fast and loose with the alien facts in order to sell a story? It's no surprise to me, but it is what it is, and this is where we find ourselves, right? Aki Kama says 12-hour show. Well, we've done some of those. Look in our archives. We've done compilations of past shows. Ryan Malo is here and says, "Suffer, Ross, you bottom bish." Yes. If anything, he definitely is a bottom bish. But the funny thing is, him and his grifting partner from Need to Know, they have wives and children. Like, how do you look at your family in the face? Like, or like when they have kids and they're friends. Like, remember when you were a kid and like your friends would say like, "Hey, what does your dad do for a living?" Or "What does your dad do for a job?" Do his kids say, "My daddy sells fake alien stories on the internet like a dumbass," right? Does he say, "My daddy takes advantage of stupid people on the internet to sell fake alien stories," right? And how do you face your wife and children? They both should be ashamed of themselves pushing this fake shit. And there's no shame in getting a story wrong, but that's another thing you'll notice about Coulthart. He never like issues an apology for selling a completely and totally fake story. This dirtbag, scumbag, bottom-feeding grifter took money from a UFO convention and told the completely and totally fake Patchgate story. That's what he gave them for their money. That means he's a fraudster, in my opinion. He's committing fraud. Taking money and promising people the truth about aliens, but you're selling them fake shit, then you're a scammer, a grifter, a fraudster. And I don't know how he should be allowed to broadcast his fake shit in the United States. I don't think he lives here, but we should still deport him, right? We should just ban him from the United States internet. Let him sell that shit to the Australian people. But the problem is, everybody in Australia already knows he's a bottom-feeding, garbage-peddling shit peddler. So he has to come over here to pretend he's credible somehow. It's absolutely ridiculous. We want to take a moment to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors, you Patreon supporters, you YouTube channel members. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to check in here. We have to check in with our PayPal friends. I know there was one from Nemesis Bex for sure. And probably one from Maria, the MVP of PayPal pledges. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, we have a kind and generous. We read every single super chat, and we thank every single person who sends some support our way, whether you buy me a coffee or send a PayPal pledge, super chat, super thanks, super sticker. We thank everybody. Become a member during the live broadcast, so we give you a thank you and a shout out. So we have a kind and generous $11.98 PayPal pledge from Nemesis Bex, longtime show supporter, who says, "Just showing my support for the best show on YouTube." Then we have a kind and generous $100 PayPal pledge from Maria, who says, "Loving the wacky world of Wilcock. Please keep doing these, at least one or two a week." Well, we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Thanks to the both of you PayPal pledgers for helping us to praise the cash. We certainly appreciate you. Thanks so much for appreciating us. I'm working on a big wacky world of Wilcock story that I hope to be releasing very, very soon, but we'll see how it goes. How do they get on your Discord? Boy, you guys are making me work today, aren't you? I will put a Discord invitation into the live chat. Just one second. Now, this is a All right. So I'm going to copy this. Now you need to know that this is a timed link. It only works for a few days, I think. So if you're watching a replay, you might not get the the link might not work, but you could always email me and ask me for a link. I got to find a way to get the permanent link. And if you're not familiar with Discord, it's just a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week chat room and sort of forum. And we have all different sections. So if you enjoy these live chats, join our Discord. And a lot of the rejects and misfits that are in the live chat are in the Discord 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's the Truth Seekers Discord. And I have put that link into the live chat. And you can use that link for the next day or so, I believe. It's a timed. I got to figure out how to do the long-term link again. So here's the link to our Discord. Don't try to copy that down. Just go to the live chat and you'll get it there. Yeah. So we want to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors. And we want to thank Ross Coulthart for being such a scumbag that we're able to just rip his scumbaggery apart with his nonsense. It's nice to know that there are scumbags out there that will give us content to show people what scumbags they are. And speaking as a husband and a father of children, who, by the way, those people in British Parliament who he accused of being child predators, they had wives, they had children. One of them suffered terrible health problems right after those allegations were made, I think due to the stress. Ross Coulthart is a scumbag. He's a dirtbag. He's an asshole for accusing people. That's the worst thing that you could possibly do, accuse somebody of being a child predator. And he did that to sell a fake story. Congratulations, Ross Coulthart, you scumbag. So I guess, like I said earlier in the broadcast, it's a cautionary tale, this story of Ross Coulthart. Okay, E.T. with a kind and generous $5 Canadian says, tell Spooky to stop ignoring me about the Phoenix Lights. I don't know what that's about, but you'll have to take it up with Spooky. But we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. And boy, do I feel loved and blessed. And I'm thankful for so many things. I have a wonderful wife and 2 beautiful children. And they're driving me nuts this week because they're going to be home for the rest of the week, but I love them anyway. And of course, I'm thankful for all of you, and I'm thankful for the support. It really, really does matter. It really means a lot that we get so much support. It enables me to spend more time doing this. No place I would rather be, except my cabin, maybe. But we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.
apart. There's no stopping. There's no stopping us now. There's no stopping. There's no stopping us now. There's no stopping. There's no stopping us now. Now